Well, good evening, good evening, and welcome to everyone. Welcome to those on TikTok, those on Facebook, and those on YouTube. Not Instagram, definitely not. Um, we're on the 18th of the 12th. Want to thank you so much for joining, and I had to come on tonight. Even though I have a Christmas thing which I had to do, because but I forego last week because there was another Christmas do thing, and I just realized that I've got to keep the momentum no matter what. So yeah, let me just do it at 10 o'clock, and let me just bring in Sir Gary as well because we're seeing some updates regarding the UK. We didn't get to talk about Bondi, what's happening in Australia. We also see whereby the interest rate has fallen to 3.75. The big belly man. Well, he's not a big belly man anymore. The the governor, he has somewhat been losing weight. I guess he has been doing a lot of walking. Let me just see. I'll bring in Sir Gary, and maybe Gary can give us some sort of insight as to what is the thinking behind the the Bank of England governor. Gary, how are you doing, sir?
Not bad, man. It's great to be back on this with some more famous Silbone Sidio. Yeah, it's great. It's great to be with you again. Missed you last week, and and even the week before. I don't think I was on with you, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah. I'm trying to remember what happened, and I realized that there's some because a lot of these Christmas events which are happening, and I've just got to make sure that I still show up, even amidst the campaign which I'm doing. Got to make sure that I still keep showing up as well, and
yes,
and as well, just to say good evening to Mel and good evening to Belinda as well. Just a good night to you, Gary. You got your fans out there. You got three fans now, Gary. You got three fans now. Actually, you got three fans now, isn't it?
yeah. But my fan base is growing, so I can't. My fan base
Years
is growing, so let it grow.
ye- years ago, somebody had to go at me and said I only got like maybe 10 followers, and then a friend of mine said, Sid, tell them say me, you, and Shelly a three away I follow you. We're not business about nobody else. you you gotta you gotta start with somewhere, you gotta start with somewhere as much as possible. But
Yeah,
I did message you at some point, and just to say the interesting development which has happened in Australia, in Bondi there. It has a stark resemblance of October at the same time,
yes.
and it was very interesting. It's like people are sitting ducks. Mm,
I mean, I think I mean they know when the can I say, is it Jews or the Israelites or
yeah,
the
yeah,
Israelis? They know
yeah.
when the Israelis come together. They know
Mm,
when the best times or when it's times of festivity, family time, and such. And I think that they use it to their advantage. Really,
mm,
I mean, um, we're coming down to a time of festivities now, Christmas time, and it is also a time in which they are remembering um, their time of festival, isn't it? It's a time
mm.
in which the Jews
It's
or the Israelis are
yeah.
they're very religious people. Not to say that the Islamics or the Muslims are not. They're very religious also. Christians are very religious individuals also.
Uh,
And if you should widen the thought, is that how would you hurt the Christian community the most? In what way would one think of hurting the Christian community the most? Wouldn't it be time in uh, you know, in the evangelical world, in the Pentecostal world, in the world of charismatics, in the world again mainline Christian organizations, the Roman Catholics, the Anglican. If you want to hurt a people, you hurt them when they're gathered together in mass. Now, it's not, it's not a pleasurable thing to think about or to talk about, by no means. But then you have to think about I think it's about getting into the mind of these perpetrators. How are you going to hurt people the most? Aren't you going to hurt them when they gather together? Aren't you going to really do most damage when religious people get together? And sadly, to me, they're using that kind of formula. And it's sad because that's when they hit. Sorry, Sil. That's when they hit the October 11th, or 2 years ago, when it wasn't a festival, but I think it was a festival. It was something that
there was a bashment there. There was something, a festival which they had at the same time. Right. It was a festival, and they came in and they intercept the festival. So it's a stark resemblance of what happened there. So now one is looking at maybe the potential of the similar thing which is happening around the world.
Yes. So I think, I think that we have to, whether we want to or not, but I think it's causing the Christian world to rethink. I mean, in America, for example, I think they reached that point in the sense that there's a lot of churches there that has security, and that's even before now. If we know them, if we know to some extent, not fully, but if we know to some extent the psyche of the Christian, the American Christian, that there are bigger churches there for quite a few years now that has security, and they're armed for whatever. And I think that as it's come down to this point now, that they're ready for any eventuality. When you think of Christians in this country, for argument's sake, now, we don't have churches as large. I would say safely, we don't have churches that have 10,000 or 9 or even 8,000 going to church in one building. We don't have that. But we may have a church that has, I don't know, probably 2,000, 3,000 individuals that goes to church. Or even if you had a church here that has 600 people, which I know of them, then that's a large church in England. But then even then, Silbon, you don't have security in the way of security like you'd have in the American church, in the American culture. But obviously now, and when I say security, I mean security with lethal means. I'm talking about, because over the past months or year or two, we've heard of individuals going into a church with guns, and we have security or individuals in church firing their guns. For protection. I'm talking about lethal force. Now, in England, we don't have that kind of thing. I mean, not even the police, quote unquote. We do have police that roam. Everybody knows it's a known fact, unwritten in one sense, that there are roving police cars, marked or unmarked, that are armed police. We know that, and they're the only ones probably that has the license to carry. and that there are many. There were a few individuals, private individuals, that has a license to carry arms, but it's not a known thing in English society for
Mm.
the private citizens to carry guns, like for instance in the state of Texas or the state of California or many other states. They carry weapon like you're carrying a pen, ready to
Yeah,
write and all.
yeah.
But
Well,
we
well,
to think
yeah.
we're
Mm.
having to think in terms of having security, because if we're having conventions, convocations, conferences, the highest thing on the agenda now, I would say, is security.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it is something that which is very interesting and interesting developments, and I guess the UK is actually looking at it. Australia is looking at it further, as well as to potential attack, because you can see it strikes the in the heart, whereby I believe that these are persons or individuals who are they're ready to strike again. The other side of the coin is that many people are saying that this is a kickback effect of what has happened in Gaza over the few years. I'm trying to say, Gary. And I don't know where's the peace deal is or where it's at the same time. But we just have to, the recent guy who drove through um, the
In
crowd
Liverpool,
in Liverpool there, nothing came out of it in the sense of he was involved with any other persons or so. It was him solely just really angry and just really a person by himself. I guess many were looking and hoping that it would have been some links, but there was no link as well. So I guess we just have to watch and play and just hope that, especially for the Christmas season, that everything goes well.
yeah. I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
that's all we can do.
Yeah, yeah,
I think we are we are living in a time now, and in a culture
mm,
where I think in the next 5 years things are going to change drastically. In the UK, we're not used to certain conditions like in the Americas, or like in Europe, or even in Australia.
yeah,
United is very, very unique, very unique. I don't think there's any area like the United Kingdom where the police don't carry guns. Again,
yeah,
like we have on the streets in the police force, live,
mm,
armed police, but
yeah,
United Kingdom is very unique, and I
mm,
really believe 5 to 10 years things will change. Things will.
mm. Yeah. I I just today won something at the political um party Christmas do, and it says Speaker Hoyles single malt Scotch whiskey, Gary. Speaker Hoyle single malt Scotch whiskey.
What what are you is that paid advertisement?
Actually, I got to be even careful when I mention these things on TikTok, because it says Speaker Hoyles Scotch whiskey. Now TikTok, for the record, I'm just reporting something here. I'm not promoting anything. I'm just telling TikTok that you know I'm just speaking something. But listen, the big belly man guy, the big belly man, um, cut interest rates 3.75. You know, 3.75. But I must say though, Gary, he has lost weight. The Bank of England governor, he has lost weight, Gary. He has. I think he's been doing some exercise or something like that. Yeah.
Well, who wouldn't lose weight if they have to balance the economy the way how he's having to do it?
Yeah.
This is not a time now where people can put on weight.
Uh,
you have to watch. I mean, I sometimes I feel sorry for our our leaders,
Uh,
our leaders in government, and that is across the world because they're under some pressures, man. I mean, they've got to be under some pressure in because I don't think they really know the solution. They have to present a positive a positive face. They have to present themselves positively because
uh,
they want to stay in the job. They wanted to stay in as either as a president or or as a prime minister or as a politician. One has to stay. One wants to stay. Nobody wants to lose their place in government, do they? So, so I think that the pressure that is around them when they look at what it is that they have to deal with, it has to be tremendous. It has to be.
yeah. Well, let's listen to the Lindsay Hoyle, not Lindsay Hoyle. Sorry, um, the Andrew Bailey. He's not Big Belly Man anymore. Let's clarify. He's not Big Belly Man anymore. He has slimmed down. Here it is.
I've been very encouraged by the progress that we've made on inflation. I've been saying for some time that it's going to, we had this, what we called hump up this year. I thought it was going to come down, and it has. And the good news is it's actually, I've been very encouraged by the progress that we've made on inflation. I've been saying for some time that it's going to, we had this, what we called hump up this year. I thought it was going to come down, and it has. And the good news is it's actually coming down a bit faster than I think we thought it would. I'm particularly pleased because there's been an easing of food price inflation, which is really very important. I mean, all inflation is important, but we know that food is salient. It's very salient, and of course, it hits those on lower incomes a lot as well. I think now that we're on a path where we'll probably be around this level for a few months, but we think that come the spring, April, May time, we should see another quite sharp drop and take us, I hope, to around target. So we're going to come back to target sooner than we thought.
Yeah, that's Andrew Bailey. As you can see, he has slimmed down, Gary, big time. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's done. He's really slimmed down, isn't he?
Yeah. He has slimmed down, and so the big question is, this is from 3 points. It dropped from 4 to 3.75. The future of the economy can sometimes be seen in minor gesture of Bank of England governor, right? And what he's talking about, Mr. Bailey is saying that there's been a debate on the monetary policy committee about what a normal level of interest rate would be, with some members seeing that as low as 3.3%. Markets interpreted the deliberations of committee as meaning just 2 further cuts next year. So therefore, what this means there, Gary, we are looking to see is that 3.75 interest rate could go for 3% in the next few months, all being well. Will it be a bumper Christmas? You know, how will the interest? Sorry, go on.
What do you think?
Well, there's a level of stimulus at the same time, and I believe that the banks have actually been cutting their interest rates in mortgages in anticipation of this. Those with tracker mortgage, they're the ones that keep monitoring it, and it keeps going up and down, subject to them. Those who are on fixed rate, who fix something, they might be saying, "Oh shucks, man, I should have waited a bit longer," because now they could be at 4.2%, and the interest rate is dropping to 3.7530. Analysts are divided about whether further cuts will follow in 2026, and the interest rates affect mortgages, credit cards, and saving rates for millions of people.
Right.
So therefore, it definitely will affect mortgages and credit cards and all those sort of things. So in a way, it is going to put money back in the pockets of people. I think we were talking about the other day that every time something happens, then more money come into the system, and they say, "Hey, too much money coming into the system," and we're saying the big belly man is going to increase it again. You know,
Mhm.
but we can't say that anymore because he's not have a big belly. He's been doing a lot of walking in the park. You know, interest rate tell us how much it costs borrow money or the reward for saving it. Bank of England base rate is what it charges other banks and building societies to borrow money. So so there we are, Gary. Um, interest rates is going down, and we're expecting it sometime in next year for it to be maybe about oh 3%. Greetings, I'm over here now. Hey Michelle, what's up? Michelle, you got another fan, Gary. So you got three now. You got more fans coming over here, Gary. So that's great. That's great news.
That's wonderful. That's great. That's great.
That's great. Um, did you notice something about a lot of flu epidemic or so is going around, and with the doctors having their strike recently, the junior doctors, the government is saying that they have been a bit very careless. Um, Careless in the sense whereby a lot of persons are going to feel that impact may cost lives. But there's something subtle which is happening there whereby it has the hallmarks of the big C. I don't know if you've seen that. You know?
I have. I have. I have. I have.
Mm,
I mean, I think just tagging on a little bit onto what we said in what you were saying in relation to the interest rates going down. I'm wondering what's going on. Things don't happen in isolation. Things don't happen in isolation, and I have to wonder. And I did wonder when I saw what and heard what the big belly man said, or what he did anyway, what the Bank of England governor did. I'm wondering what's
mm,
up. Obviously, he knows that there is something coming. How long in the future, I don't know, but something's happening now with the flu epidemic and what's happening right now. There is the conspiracy theorists would say, as they would always say, that they're seeding the clouds, but they're seeding the cloud with something that is causing the nation, if they're not being vaccinated, then obviously the water that is falling is causing a certain degree of illness to fall upon the nation, and there's a lot that's being said about that. There's a lot of people who have gotten ill. I don't know if you've noticed. There's a lot of people who have gotten ill, and it has gone off in another direction.
yeah.
People are getting ill. Not to say, again, I hold my hand up. Not to say that people haven't gotten ill before. There will always be illness around us. There will always be people, getting sick. But since the pandemic, since that time until now, things have never really been the same. And people, sadly, people have become ill and they haven't recovered just like before, but worse now. People, the resistance that people once had, they're not resisting anymore. They're becoming a little bit more iller. If they had flu before, the flu is not as what it used to be because they're not able, they're staying home longer, they're staying at home more. People are becoming more susceptible to
Illness.
illness and such. So,
Mm,
we have to look at this, at what's going on. We have to look at it.
mm.
Whether it's the sea or not, we have to.
You did ask a question when you said what else is happening out there? Is there some distraction or something? I was gonna bring up a point, and someone flagged it up on TikTok. Zelensky gives stark warning as EU leaders decide on Russia's frozen assets. You read about that? Russian
I've been here.
frozen assets.
I watched the was it last night? Last night, 24 hours ago, I believe it was. If somebody out there can correct me, please do. I'm sure it was an American ambassador who was ambassador to Ukraine, and they said it was quite startling though, but they said that the money that Russia had in the banks in Europe, which is frozen by the way, it's not up to the US government to unfreeze that. It's up to the European, it's up to the EU, and they are in their rights to do so, and they should give that money to Ukraine so that they can buy the arms that they need or the weapons they need in order to fight the war. Now again, even today I was reading something on social media, on the web, where there seems to be a signal from Europe, and they've been doing it, I think, for a few weeks now, where it's as if they're trying to get into the psyche of the Europeans and of the British population also, that war is coming. Trump seems, don't listen to what he says,
what he does.
But he's speaking peace. He wants peace. That's
well,
what
there,
he said.
There was some. Go on, Gary. Go on, please. Go ahead.
Sorry. But Europe, with Starmer tagged on the end there, he is gearing up for war, and he is getting into the psyche of the British population. And I'm majoring on the British population because that's where we live. We live in England. That war could break out at any time, and we must be ready for that. And
there's a talk about conscription. The talk about conscription is still going on. It's very subtle. Conscription whereby they say they are coming for your children, for them to go into war. And some leaders, and I must say, these guys who are supposed to be leaders, they're old. Forget, they are not going to be going to war. They are saying, your children are the ones, your daughters, your sons are going to be the one going into this inevitable war with Russia, because Russia is saying, bring it on. That's what Russia is saying, bring it on, no matter what. And you're right. You're seeing Europe act. When you think about it at the same time, what's the sense does it make whereby if you go into a full impact, you're going to regret that you go in there, because all that's going to happen is the unaliving of millions of people, right? What's the sense of going down that particular route? What's the sense of claiming and owning lands or fighting for lands when really and truly, I'm going to be very super spiritual and philosophical, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, and I believe there was a deal which was before Zelensky. If I'm not mistaken, a deal is before Zelensky. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm sure many people are going to resist it. They're talking about some young people going into war. They say, going to war? Oh, for Pete's sake. I'm trying to say, fighting who? Gary, this is really crazy. And I believe the likes of Keir Starmer, if you're not careful, these persons take the nation, down a particular path where the people that voted them in didn't ask for that.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's
Mm.
happening now. I mean, is the nation? The question it should be asked: is the nation ready for war? Are we
Mm.
really ready for war? You know,
Mm.
are and I don't think this country is. There was something, I don't know whether it's true or not. Again, it's on social media where it is said that Russia has targeted 8 cities in the in the UK, that
Mm.
if England should enter into war, where they would
Go
bomb
first.
first. Now,
Mm.
is England ready? Are we ready for war?
Of course not. Of course.
I don't think we are. And
But they're gonna say NATO. They're gonna say it's a NATO principle. It's having all the NATO people, you know.
well, you see, there's nothing much being done, and I don't think it's like it's. How can I liken this to? It's we're going to wake up and one of these days and realize that war has begun. It's as if we're daydreaming. We're sleepwalking. We're dreaming, man. The population needs to understand that where our leaders and what our leaders are saying and where they want to go with in regards to Ukraine and Russia, they're 100 behind Zelensky. And I don't know if Zelensky really wants peace, but when you listen to the NATO Secretary General, when you listen to certain politicians like Macron and the German Chancellor and Starmer in the midst of them, they don't want peace. And I think our nation needs to understand and needs to begin to voice themselves. Listen,
go on. That's something. Yeah. Mm.
We have pointed out, not on this point, but I want to make a comparison here. We have said that the citizens of France, when they object to a thing, the whole world knows about it.
Oh yes.
Right. They make their feelings felt and heard
on the street.
On the streets. Now, I'm not for violence, but the thing about it is that we here in the UK, we need to make our voices heard. They say that we have a right to demonstrate. Rubbish. Because when people go out on the streets to demonstrate, yes, you can't move here, you can't move there, you can't carry banners, you can't, you have to go quietly. I mean, what kind of freedom is that?
You're sort of hanged in and quarantined to a certain level. You know what I was thinking, Gary? I was thinking, and I keep seeing the different stooges. Sorry, I shouldn't say they're stooges, but the different world leaders in UK. Should I say the Willins? They said the Willins, the Willins, which is Starmer, Macron, German guy, blah blah blah. These are the Willins. They call them something about the Willins, the chosen Willins. And Gary, and ladies and gentlemen, and just think with me for a second. I don't believe that if these persons go to the people of the nation that they lead, that they're going to get a response from them to say, yes, go full speed ahead into a full frontal contact with Russia. I don't think the people are wanting that. Do you think they're asking the people about that?
Well, they're not asking anybody about it.
They're not asking them.
No. I mean, because they believe that they've got the mandate from the last general election that was held. They believe that they've got the mandate to do just exactly what you've just said. Yeah. And the people did not vote those into power based on a war that had hardly, or well, probably it had begun, but they didn't vote for the UK to go into war. Did you vote? Did you vote for the
No,
UK to
no,
go to war? If you
nope, nope,
ask,
nope.
well, if there was a poll taken in the nation, I'm quite certain that the majority of the citizens of the United Kingdom
Yeah.
would
Well, well,
say they
well,
vote
well,
for
well,
the
well, well, well it is very important that the people of the UK, citizens of the UK, right throughout the UK, send a strong message to Keir Starmer to say you're operating not in our name. Well, presently, he's not acting in my name. He's not acting in the interests of myself, you know. He's saying he's acting in the interests of the UK. A lot of people are saying, no, he's not operating in our name. Just like when Tony Blair, as they say, Mr. Blair, as Mugabe would say, Mr. Blair, you know, when they went into Iraq, double MD, no evidence is there up to this day. 10,000, so many people turn out to demonstrate against a double AR. Remember, Gary? Million people came out to demonstrate against a double AR. Nothing. So therefore, people have got to recognize, and this is not just regarding Jamaica or so. This has to do with that once you become into these echelons of power, when people lend you their vote, lend you their power, lend you their to speak on their behalf, they take it and do whatever they want to do because they become into this club. And I therefore think that people need to recognize and wake up to this. They need to wake up to this guy. And we got to sound the trumpet because these guys, these individuals, you're going to have to ask them, will they put up their children at the front? You know?
well,
Will they put their children? Yeah.
I mean, there are some serious questions
Mm.
that this nation needs to ask of its leaders.
Mm.
This nation will then know whether their leaders are listening to them or not, because it's certainly what will war bring us? What is war? What are the benefits that's going to bring war to the UK? What benefit?
Mm.
What certain amount of freedom are we going to gain by going into war?
None, Gary.
And so,
None.
you know, we can't just idly sit back and just leave it up to those who are, you know, who say they have the power to do just that. We can't. I mean, they already know to some extent that there's a certain degree of herd mentality going on that's been achieved, and that was achieved during COVID time. That they know that already. There will always be a section of the community, of the nation, that if they stood up wherever they want to stand, in Parliament or in Downing Street or whichever department they want to be in, you know, to say there's going to be a lockdown and you can't go out between certain times, you know, you have to sleep this time, you have to have a bath. I know I'm taking it beyond measure here, but the point is that they can issue commands, and and sections of the nation will listen, but there's a section that will not, and we have to. Now, I'm certainly not going to be governed by is it autocrats who's going to tell me when how far I ought to travel from my home, or when and what time of the day I am allowed to go from A to B, or what to eat, or what car to drive. No. No, when man was formed as a free agent. Human beings do not like to be held in captive. That is not
Mm.
how human beings behave. Human beings like freedom. They want to be free. We want to be free in every way, shape, and form.
Mm. I think one big question that I'll have to ask to everyone who is listening on TikTok, on Facebook, and on YouTube, the question to ask is this: are you ready for full frontal impact conflict with Russia? You know, are you ready? Because that's what the leaders are saying. That's what Keir Starmer is saying. That's what Macron is saying. That is what German and these guys are saying. They said, they call it the coalition of the willing. They are the coalition of the willing. These 6 or so or 8 or so individuals, these persons seem to be purporting to speak on behalf of the people of the UK, of EU. And do you notice it, Gary? Do you notice how subtle the UK is going back in bed with Europe?
But
You know,
Silborn, haven't I said
yeah.
it to you? I don't know if it's public on a platform like this or even
Mm,
privately, but I have said to you that I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if
mm,
the government, if whether it's this government or whichever government goes in, that would not want to bring the UK back into Europe, because that is what they're doing. They're inching themselves. We're being brought closer and closer
mm,
into Europe. Now it may not be how it was before, but
mm,
obviously we are, because they want us back. They want
mm,
us back. We want to go back. Why? Why do you think the government wants the UK to go back? Because there were certain advantages that the UK had when they were a part of Europe. Obviously, there
mm,
were disadvantages, because in everything that we're involved in, there are advantages, there are disadvantages.
mm,
But when you look and see the 1 and 2 or the 3 things that they have accepted, and how they're bringing back the economy, they're bringing back education, they're doing things piece by piece,
yes.
attaching themselves to the European models, so to speak. I wouldn't be
Mm.
surprised that in the next, probably, I mean, nothing happens overnight. I'm not saying it
Well,
will happen in my
yeah.
lifetime,
Well,
but some.
they're formulating or getting back this deal, which is called the Eurasmus. This is something that Boris had scrapped as a part of the deal. Um, the live listen while studying. Listen, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson had pulled the UK out of the scheme um, as a part of a deal to leave the European Union. Funding lasted until 2021 to 2022, which meant it was the last cohort of students to receive Erasmus, right? So therefore, there's a subtle way of actually going against that vote of Brexit. Because a lot of people didn't like Brexit, but a lot of people like Brexit at the same time. That's the whole thing. A lot of people like Brexit, but a lot of people didn't Brexit. But you can sense the lip service is not actually lining up with what is happening. You can hear Keir Starmer says we will follow the wishes of the people, but at the same time you're seeing a subtleness of actually going back into Europe. and that is going to lose out the independence as much as possible of the United Kingdom. And we are seeing that happening straight away in regards to the whole aspect of what's going on in the EU, what's going on with Zelensky, what's going on whereby they are speaking as one voice. That's why they call it the coalition. So therefore, the UK is operating as if it is a part of the EU, Gary. Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. I can see
Yeah.
it.
Mm,
I can see it.
yeah. That's very interesting, and we're watching it very closely. But I'm just encouraging people as much as possible not to just lie back and just accept things from the government, accept things that you did not vote for, but to really stand your ground and stand up and to be counted. As you rightly say, the with France, you know where they stand. With the UK, unfortunately, they take things and they just take things. Counter tax go up, they just accept it. Um, I mean, this crazy thing also, which is called congestion zone, Gary, it's now going to increase to what, £17 or £18 next year. £18 next year, and if you pay after 12, it jumps up to £21, Gary. This was a scheme which was there to reduce people from going into London, but now it's a
You see,
money making thing, Gary.
it was always deemed as a money making thing. And what I believe that the Londoners should do, we need to rebel. That's a strong term. That's a strong term. But you need to protest strongly. You need
Stand
to
up and be
protest strongly
stand up and be counted.
of what is happening. I mean,
Mm.
look what happened. I don't know if you read even in today. I believe it was today. I don't think it was yesterday, where Europe has completely done a U-turn on electric vehicles, where they have completely disregarded the 2035, and they're now allowing petrol and diesel cars to be bought and sold. I don't think that they have a particular year in mind, but they're saying that the petrol, those who want to buy petrol, diesel alongside electric cars, will have that freedom to do it. And this has put the UK out on a limb. Now, I do expect the government, probably not this side of the year, it's too late, but sometime next year, to reverse their policies on electric vehicles. I expect them to do that. I mean, look what the electric vehicles now are having to do. They're having to pay how much a mile? 3 pence
Per mile.
per mile. And how they then pay that or make a note or calculate all of that is from one MOT to the next.
So they are busted.
So how I mean, I think we're just being led down the garden path, really. And
Gary, it is simple, just like how that MP in the Labour Party stood up for the farmers, and based on his standing up for the farmers, based on the fact that that is how he was campaigning, that is a promise that he made to the constituents, the people within the area which he lived, and then by virtue of such, he was suspended from the Labour Party. So therefore, people have now got to ask themselves the question: when I vote, am I voting just for getting someone inside there to get a salary, or am I voting to get someone who's to speak on my behalf? And that is why the whole aspect of recall is so important, that people will have to recognize that they can recall MPs. They can recall MPs, even if the governing party, the Labour Party, give them the whip and say they have to vote a particular way. They can be recalled. So a lot of education will have to go in there to let people know that you can recall an MP. Yeah.
Yes.
And as someone said on TikTok, the British public will do what they always do, complain and do nothing. And I tend to agree with that. That's where they are reached now. There's no British bulldog spirit anymore. It is
No,
the
there's no.
French who leads it in a sense. The British people just accept things, make noise, and just can't be bothered. Complain about the weather. Complain about the storm. Oh, it's cold today. Treacherous weather. And I said, why is treacherous? Nothing is treacherous about the weather. Weather is beautiful, right? So therefore, there need to be leaders that wake up, wake up the people at this time, because it is just not acceptable. People are just taken for a ride. Council tax upon council tax just increase just like that. TV license is just there, just like that. If Trump wins, then people have to pay for Trump, with the TV license. If eh, you know, taxes upon taxes or whatever like that, people just roll over, die, and take it.
I mean, England or the United Kingdom has one of the highest energy costs. The highest energy costs. Look
Yes.
at petrol. Petrol and diesel. One of the highest in the world, if not the highest. And you mentioned about the TV licenses there with Trump wanting to sue BBC. Is it 10 billion?
5 billion, 5 to 7 billion, or something like that. Yeah.
To 7 billion. Who's going to pay for that? It's the TV license. So that's going to that's going to go up. I mean, everything is just so unfair, and I don't watch BBC anyway, because BBC just gives pure repeats. That's all they do.
Yes.
They are not value. They are not value for money. When a few weeks ago there was a water company down in the southeast or southwest there of England, where people can't even drink the water that they've paid over the years for. Yet the chief executive can get a bonus of so much £1 million. Yet the consumers can't even use the water to wash themselves. I mean, it's a disgrace.
Is that the one where they were handing out bottles of water on the road to people in there?
Yes.
Totally crazy. Totally crazy.
Utter madness.
Mm.
You have the gas, British Gas, and all the gas companies. I mean, only God knows what's going to happen with that. They're digging up the road every minute, either laying down water pipes or gas pipes. Then the bills come through. I was watching a documentary, or it was on the news some weeks ago, where you have pensioners, in their homes or in their flats or wherever they are, and they can't even turn on the heating because they cannot afford the bills that's coming through the door. I mean, yet these chief executives can be paid millions of pounds a year. What? Don't they have a heart? But it's going up. The thing about it, they're putting up these rates year on year. Now listen to this. I mean, they may even cut it down this year. Oh, we're giving you a rebate of £150.
Give you a blind.
The following year is going up anyway. So they give with one hand, but they take with the other.
Take a Peter to Paul.
No, I mean,
it is very unfortunate, and you're right, and that is where the advent of TikTok and all these platforms. That's why the other day I was looking at TikTok on all these platforms and said, all they do is just moan, chat. And I refer even to Jamaica. Even with Jamaica and the whole TikTok world, it's just chat, moan, PNP, JLP, chat, blah, 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 blah. And I just give up. I can't bother with it anymore, And I'm seeing it happening also right here in the UK, whereby people are seeing certain things which are just irrelevant. And the political persons who are being elected to vote listen, I'm standing in an election, Gary, and one of the things that I'm getting a lot on the doorstep is people are just really fed up with politicians. People actually say, "What difference will it make, Silburn, if you go in there? You guys go in there and just do whatever you want to do." And I have to,
Well,
yeah.
well, the thing about it, I mean, they make it difficult for individuals like you, Sil,
Mm,
who want to do well and
mm,
who wants to do their best because they've seen day in, day out, week in, week out, month in,
mm,
month out, year in,
mm,
year out. People who go into and through and walk the corridors of power for the first year or for the first, whatever, and they're changed. They're changed individuals. They do not represent the constituency that this constituency put them in there for. They just
mm,
there for themselves. So when you, who has all the intentions of doing right, present yourselves, that's why a lot of people, I'm quite sure, Sil, you're not the first.
mm,
Sure, there are many who started and dropped out. Why? Because
mm,
what they're hearing on the doorsteps, what they're hearing when they shake their hands, when they meet the people on the street, is exactly what you are being told. And so they say, well, what's the use, spending all my time, sacrificing my time, doing what I'm doing to be hearing all of this. I might as well not
mm,
go in because they're not going to support me anyway. So therefore, when you're not supported, but those who are there are not challenged, they hold on to the seat or to the position because there's nobody there to challenge them. And I'm just saying, Sil, that
mm,
you don't stop. And if there is anybody out there that is challenging the status quo,
mm.
do not stop. Keep going,
Yeah,
because if you stop, nothing will change. It's
yeah.
only when individuals like yourselves continue to do what
Mm,
you do that when you get into the
mm,
powers, into the corridors of power, into the chambers, because that's where we
mm,
need to be,
mm.
where we need to be in the chamber. We need to be in the
Yeah.
House of Commons.
Yes.
But we're not,
Yes.
but not enough of us is getting there because of the discouraging words that we're hearing, that you are hearing.
Mm.
The
And then
people need to be.
and then people are being fed such, and then those who are in the politics of power house, they don't want to rock the boat, and they're sort of happy by keeping it like that. So it keeps them very comfortable in a
Yes,
way, and
yes.
that's the whole thing. But hey, change will come anyhow. Still, as a song by Sam Cooke, change will come. Change will definitely come. Yes, guy. I think we've got to keep an eye and call out Starmer. Call him out. You got to call him out because if he's leading the UK down a particular pathway, it's dangerous. Dangerous, Gary.
You see, Silburn,
Mm,
what's going to happen is that the majority of this nation, those who, and I believe, sometimes the people that make the most noise, are the ones that's in the minority
yeah.
because they're making a lot of noise. But I believe that the majority of this nation is going to wake up, but they're going to wake up when it's too late.
Mm,
That is my fear. Those
mm,
who could or can do something, they're not saying anything. And when they do say something, it's going to be far too late. And that seems to be happening all the time. All the time.
well, as I say in the Bible, there shall be a weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. As I go.
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens. And we just don't learn. We as human beings living in this part of the world, living in the United Kingdom, we
Mm,
do not learning. We're not
mm,
looking at history and studying the decisions that has failed.
mm,
We're not looking at that. We're not looking at that. And I'm just sorry that something is going to happen to us. It doesn't have to be anything catastrophic or loss of life. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there are decisions which are being made. Decisions that are being made. There are decisions that are being spoken of, and we are in our lounge chair. We've got the fleece over our legs. We've got a mug of chocolate in our hands, and we're watching BBC.
And we got the single malt Scotch whiskey from the Speaker's Boyle.
You may even have whiskey in your hands, and the world is going by. The world is going by, and the time we jump out of that chair and begin to protest, what's the sense? What's the use?
Too late.
It's far too late. And we're going to be saying things are going to be sent out. Write your MP or write your councillor. Let's meet on this corner. Let's march in Birmingham Centre. Let's march in London down to the House of Commons and all that. But it's going to be too late because it's already passed. It's already gone.
I was thinking even about the counter tax thing, and counter tax is now, it was 5 days a week, and now it's 7 days a week, and it's just ridiculous. It's like it just like the tax which they want to put on 2 million houses, which creeps up. Then all of a sudden it becomes a norm, and people just accept it, and there it just become the norm. And the persons that implement these or the architect behind it, they are not impacted at all, Gary. Because for argument's sake,
Listen.
Yeah.
Belinda put something out on the chat there.
Yeah.
And it's so
Gary, I lost you there. Is that
true? In addition to what you just said, what you put out, turn off the signal.
They need to wake up and smell the coffee.
The airport drop-offs.
Oh, the airport drop-off. Yeah.
That is one of the biggest rip-offs I have witnessed. I mean, just to take a car in, and oh my goodness, £6, in some areas. I don't know on what the costs are down in Heathrow and Gatwick, just to drop off. You're not even stopping. 30 seconds.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I went to your late father-in-law, and I took the train, and I went to the airport to collect my cake, because if I went and tried to pick up, would I end up having to park the car a long time? So I just take the train, Gary, and collect my cake.
I'm telling you, Silborn, it's pathetic. When is the nation going to wake up? When is the nation going to wake up? Are we heading towards, in London there, £20 a day, £25 a day, £30 a day? Are we having to go into the various cities of the UK and having to spend £15 just to go shopping? And then the shopping, that's madness itself anyway, because costs are not going down, they're going up.
Michelle says she just baked 6 cakes. I don't know why she told us that, Gary. Is she going to send it to us? Can you speak to her, Gary? I don't know why she tell us that. Can you have a word with Michelle?
Well, I think it's because of what you mentioned about collecting a cake, and it's a slice of cake, so you did get, isn't it?
No, I didn't come. I come to collect a big cake. But she talk about bake 6 cake. She not talking about 6 slice, 6 cake. So I know, Michelle, you need to sort out that. I don't know why you tell us that. It's like I said, so I like somebody said, "Come on, that is too much information. That is too much information for my head."
Yeah,
Michelle, you know the address. Send it across. But anyway, Gary, I think got to watch these thing and some there's somebody and I can't get into this bit here now because where they mention about why you even paying. I'm not sure. I think it's congestion charge. They don't pay TV license. They don't pay council tax. They don't pay anything according to what this person says. You know, um, So that's another thing about it. But anyhow, Gary, we will talk. We will talk. I got uh, and keep follow up this whole thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
we'll talk. I mean, I wish you all the best, though. I mean,
Yeah.
when is the election for mayor of Lewisham?
In May, the first week of May, 2026.
Okay, well,
First week of May. You know. But one of the things which I am actually I've been meeting a lot of people, especially in the park. Um, I meet a lot of people in the park, and of course, me naturally, I just go up to them and say, "Hi, how are you? I presume you're a Lewisham resident." And I shake their hands and say, "My name is Silburn Sidiel, and I'm standing to be your mayor." But I always go further by saying, "I want to be your voice." And that is something which is very important, to be your voice, to amplify your voice, because a lot of people don't
yes,
understand that a mayor exists. A lot of people don't understand that a mayor is there to be your voice. A lot of people don't understand that a mayor is to also hold the council accountable. At the
right,
same time,
right,
what people fail to even understand is that a mayor is the one who also sign off the council tax. What I don't understand is that the mayor is a person that is there for you, because of the different councillors in the different area, the majority of the people within the local area, within that constituents, they vote in that mayor. So that mayor
yes,
is your voice. Just picture just picture Rudy Giuliani when they had September 11th. That's what a mayor is. Up and down, talking to the people. Not like Sadiq Khan, who's a mayor, but he walks with his hands like this and have three burly guys behind him. He's not really out there talking and engaging with the people. That's something that makes a big difference, you know. So I have to
yeah.
bring something different to it as well, you know.
Well,
Looking
I
for
wish you and we're there to support you, Silburn. We're there to
yes,
support. Wish you all the best, man. Just keep us informed, and if there's anything that we can do to help drive this forward
yeah,
from where we are, you know.
yeah. Drive, come down to London and get some leaflets and go into the highways and the byways and stand up on the corner and say, "Sil, Silburn for mayor," and repeat the manifesto and the style. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Somebody's telling me now, brother, please don't get caught up in their system. They'll pay you handsomely for the job. I cannot I cannot I cannot Nubian Q, I must say it's difficult for me sometimes to listen to persons that don't caught up in the system. And at the same time, the persons who are saying don't caught up in the system are not doing anything to change the system.
Right.
And I keep hearing that a lot by persons who don't want persons to get caught up in Babylon system, but yet at the same time, you're living and we're living in Babylon system. We've got children in Babylon system. We got families in Babylon system. We go to school in Babylon system. We take the transportation in Babylon system. We take the plane from Babylon system. Brother, you get yourself deregistered from their system and become private. I'm sorry, I can't understand where you're coming from, because what you're trying to say to me, Nubian Q, is actually separate myself and be some lone wolf McQuaid. I don't do that. I can't do that. You see, this is the thing, Gary. This is the thing I'm trying, and this is a conversation that I have to have with lots of people, because we can't say that we want to change things and we don't want to be a part of the change to change things.
Right.
We can't say, listen, we're living in the system. We are part of the system, but we do not want to be a part of the system. You know? But anyway, Nubian Q, we have to have a conversation on that. A serious, very serious conversation, and a very serious conversation on that. Very, very serious conversation on that, because a lot of people I'm picking up are being brainwashed both ways. Brainwashed by the system and brainwashed by those who don't want them to be a part of the system.
Yes.
And then what is going to happen is that people are just going to left out there like headless chicken with no leadership, you know? But anyway, that's another conversation we got to talk about another time. So I can really understand what you're saying, but I had to take that. Yeah. All right, Gary, we'll talk. Yeah. Peace out.
Man. We talk. You take care now. Have a good
Yeah.
evening. Yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for those who are joining me on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much, and we will follow and remember to like and subscribe as well. And peace out, Gary. Take care of yourself. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bless you.
Bye bye.